Hi and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to talk about how can you reprogram your mind to success. Everybody wants success, and it could mean different things to different people. For some people, success could mean freedom. For some people, success could mean financial freedom. For some, it could be a peace of mind or where they want to be. So we all have this different meaning that we give to success, but ultimately that's where we want to be. And all of us in some level want success for ourselves. So let's break it down. Right? So how do you obtain success? And this could be applicable for anything, for all of those reasons that I just mentioned, and anything that you define success for yourself. So the first thing, even before we get into how to get there, I think it's very important that you define what success is for yourself. Many of us we have this idea that we want to be successful, but what does success really mean to you? And get extremely clear about that in the first place, because clarity is going to get you somewhere. If you don't know what your destination is, you probably are just going to keep running around and nowhere to go. So once you have a destination, you know which path to choose to get there. Okay, let's get into it. The first step is pretty simple actually. It's just decide. Decide that this is what you want, and prepare yourself to be 100% ready to receive this. A lot of us have desires which could be pretty extreme, like to become a billionaire or become the richest man in the world, and then everyone has this desire, but how many of you actually truly believe that that's achievable? Not a lot of us. So what I mean by the first step is to decide that this is what you want and I am ready to receive it. Get your mind 100% sure, saying that, okay, I can get there. This is what I want and I believe I can get there. And suppose you can't, suppose you're not able to do that for yourself, right? Simple. What is your desire? Think about it. Suppose it is you want to make 100,000 this year. So suppose you want to make 100,000 this year, and behind your mind you're like, yeah, all that is fancy, but I don't think I can actually make that much money, right? But it is your desire, it is what you want, and you're like, okay, I am going to make 100,000 this year, but you don't truly believe it. So here's a tip that you could use. Whatever you're desiring, the maximum amount of money you think you could make. In this case, suppose it's $100,000. So you ask yourself, okay, fine, 100,000 is there. What's the least I could make, right? And you might come up to 20,000, right? That's like if you actually put in your work, maybe you can make 20,000. Then what's an in between? And that number becomes your goal. So in between may look like 60 or 70, whatever you're comfortable with. And choose a number which you're really comfortable with. Similarly, if it's not money, if it's something else, choose something which you are really comfortable with in the first place, because deciding that you're going to get there and being 100% ready to get there is very important. If you yourself do not believe that you can get that amount of money or you can get that success for yourself, it's not going to happen. So the first step is simply to decide and to believe. Moving on to the next step. The next step is directing. What do I mean by directing? Cool. So now you have a goal. Now you have defined what success is for you. And then there's suddenly this inner voice that you have, which is either telling you, you're not good enough to do that, you're not good enough to get there, you're never going to be successful, right? This is a tape that's already running in your head and it's directing your action. So the next step is to manipulate this voice inside you. How do you do that? The same way the voice is commanding and telling you that you're not good enough, you cannot have all these things, you have got to start commanding yourself, saying things like you can get there, right? Or suppose your mind is telling you that I can't get this, I am not good enough. you can just reprogram that simple sentence in your mind by asking yourself, how can I get there? How can I become better? Okay, and automatically your mind starts giving you answers to that question. So this step is all about directing your mind, creating that focus and telling you where to go. So as important as it is to decide what success is for you and being 100% ready, it is way more important to start commanding your mind and getting out of a negative rut which is telling you you're not good enough, you cannot get this done, or you're not ready. I'll speak a little more about this in step 4, but just remember that this voice inside you can be switched with a better command, and that starts with you. You need to take initiative and you need to start commanding your mind and telling that it can, or finding ways on how it can do that. The next step is aligning. This step defines your actions to who you truly are. What do I mean by aligning? By aligning, I mean the idea of success that you have, that's what you want. How true is it to you? How true is it that this is who you are, and it's not something that somebody has told you to attain, but it's something that you truly want, and it's something that is expressing who you truly are. At work, at home, in life, it is very important that you do things which you are aligned to. If you don't feel an alignment with what you're doing, you're anyway not going to stick with it, or it's going to really drain you and stress you, and you're going to have a lot of anxiety and stress. So this step is very important. See how aligned you are. See how what you want is aligning with who you are. Also keep in mind that inner voice which is telling you you're not good enough, you can't do this, is not really an answer to your alignment. That is just a negative voice inside you, probably coming from a place of fear or assumption, and it's not truly who you are. So be conscious to make that difference between what is draining you and what is truly you. Usually all the voices which are telling you're not good enough, you can't do this, is no way who you are, right? So that is not a voice which is telling you that you're not aligned with this. When something feels like this is not me, this is not who I am, that's a voice which is telling you that you're not aligned to this. So the next step is to input success into your mind. How do you do this? You can do this through affirmations. It is very important to make yourself understand that this is what you want. Once that you have set up your mind saying that, okay, I want this, and have decided that this is success for me, it is very important to remind yourself that this is what I want. Why is this important? Is because our mind is programmed in a certain way through all these years, unconsciously, through the experiences that we go to the things we listen to, what people tell us, and we have a pattern in which our brain runs. And suddenly you deciding that there is something else you want is not going to help your brain make that shift in a second. You have to keep reminding yourself what you truly want and that you are deserving enough to get there. And that can be done through affirmations, that can be done by regularly telling yourself who you want to be and even acting upon it. So suppose you want to be more confident. So that starts with telling yourself stuff like, I am confident, I've got this. Do you see how that instantly boosts you up? Like, yes, I've got this. And in the same way how when you say, oh my God, I'm falling ill, and the next thing you know, you are falling ill. Look, the things that you tell yourself do happen. So use that to your benefit and program your mind and tell yourself things that you really want for yourself. So if you want that success, tell your mind, I am capable of getting that. That is what I want and that is what I will get. you can always start off your day with a few affirmations, maybe even end your day with a few affirmations. It does not have to be lengthy. You can just say it out. If you don't like to just say it out, you can just write it out daily. So a quick recap. First, you decide what you want, and then you direct your mind to getting there, and that starts with commanding your mind. And the next step is to align. Are you being yourself in doing this? Is this who you are? And the last step is to use affirmations. This is not something that's going to happen in a day or two. This is a practice you need to adapt for yourself. As your mind has already been programmed in a certain way, you need to reprogram that by offering it with new thoughts and all of these steps that we just spoke about. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave it down below and I will make sure to answer all of them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already.